Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Eric Von Haessler. Surrounded by some, but not all, of the Doctrinaires. Autumn Fisher off today, but Tim Andrews, man of 1,000 voices, is here. And, of course, the handsomest producer in all of radio, Jared Yamamoto.
Hey, how are you feeling, man? Are you feeling better?
I still got the cough and stuff, but the pain's going away, so I'm getting on the other end of it. I'm coughing a lot, but it's not hurting my chest the way that did before, so I think I'm going in the right direction.
Take some nice rest days over the weekend?
Not really, but I think I just got lucky.
The best way to fight is with whiskey.
That's why I had my wife told me that hot toddies, that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was good or bad, but she was throwing bourbon and mixing bourbon and eggnog.
It's good for you.
And it didn't hurt me. I just so I thought I sound a little stuffed up, but I think I'm on the. If the pain goes away, then you know you're going on the right.
You sound much better today than you did on Friday.
Well, thank you. How about?
And I know that you had the double shift. You went to Clark's Christmas Kids too afterward.
I did.
You braved on.
I braved on and got there and talking Clark's Christmas Kids. And immediately, Clark brings up the football, and we started talking about football for 12 minutes when I sat down. I don't know if that hurt or helped getting people in, but he's the host, so I go where he goes. I want to put out there right now that if you're a boring person who enjoys sort of following the process of a fait accompli, the impeachment inquiry hearing started at 9. And if you don't want to hear a good radio show and you want, for some reason, you want to follow that, there will be WSBradio.com. We're also over on the AM 750 side, right?
Correct.
And the WSB Radio app. So I don't know why you would want to listen. What is it today? It's lawyers talking about why it's the right thing to do.
But they're going to question each other, Eric. It
could
be
good for that. Yeah, very wonderful. Impeachment. The impeachment, I was thinking, this is it. The Dems hate Trump's guts, right? Some people listening to me hate his guts. Some people listening to me think he's a saint or something. But the Dems hate his guts, and they want history to know that they hated and didn't approve of him, right? That's really what it is. So that's, in my opinion, that's the same thing the Republicans did with Clinton in the 90s. And now we just wait and see how it's going to affect next year's election. Really, right? There's going to be a whole lot of talk between now and then. But I just summed up the whole thing. The Dems are not very confident they can beat this guy. The Republicans and Trumpers are probably overconfident that he's going to be reelected. The fact is, you and I don't know. The fact is that a week is a year in politics. We have no idea what's going to be going on in November of next year. A lot of things that could come from wildly different places could affect next year's election. But in reality, you're going to hear a lot of people do a lot of talking, but I'll repeat it again because this is the only information you need, because he's going to be impeached and then he's not going to be removed in the Senate. The Dems hate his guts, and they want history to know they hated and didn't approve of him. And now we just have to wait and see how it will affect next year's elections. Enjoy the next year of 19 people on 5,000 panels talking to you about what this means. I just gave you all the information you need. And I can tell you, I'm not. I have to watch myself this morning because I'm not in a great mood. And in reality, I think that our show's better when it's lighthearted and we're having fun. And hopefully I can get to that. But this, maybe I should just talk about it now. This shooting in Pensacola has got me so damn angry, just on so many levels. And I hear coming in this. First of all, can the FBI stop deciding that their first priority when one of these stories happens is to let everybody know that we don't know it's terrorism yet? What kind of agenda is going on here? Hey, all you millennials, start hating Eric Von Haessler now. I knew it was terrorism the moment I heard he was a Saudi national. That's right. Hate me now. Oh, wait a minute. I was right. But you just go ahead and hate me now. And you I cannot stand this thing with the FBI now, where they're then you go, we do not know that it is terrorism. Well, there's a lot of things you don't know. You didn't take the time to tell me. You don't know that it wasn't a domestic incident. If you're going to tell me all the things that we don't know if it is yet, then lay them all out there. We don't know if he just wasn't angry with somebody. But we don't know that it's terrorism yet. And then this loophole. This guy he's a Saudi national, and he bought a Glock in Pensacola, Florida. First of all, you're not supposed to be able to buy guns if you're not a citizen. Oh, what's the loophole? He had a hunting license. Okay, let me back up here for a moment. If you were an American soldier of any kind, a military person, and you were in Saudi Arabia for 2 years on some sort of transfer alliance agreement, wouldn't you assume that you're going to be spied on constantly? I would. How does this guy finds a loophole where you can buy a gun in America if you're not a citizen, if you have a hunting license. I don't know why that's a loophole. So he's a Saudi national. He gets a hunting license for some reason. Nobody goes, oh, well, you're not even here. Who are you going hunting with? Okay, then he uses that hunting license to go buy a Glock. So I'm supposed to believe he's going to go take that Glock out into the woods and shoot deer with it. Where's the redneck spidey sense from whoever sold him this gun in Pensacola? There are so many levels here. And then how does you're not supposed to have a gun in the classroom. How does he get the gun in the classroom? A week earlier, he was showing other Saudi nationals that he was there with stuff online of mass shootings. Oh, it turns out that, he said some anti-American things on social media. Are you going to tell me as an American in some sort of Saudi alliance program, and I'm over in Saudi Arabia, that I'd be able to do all of these things and nobody would notice? I mean, what the hell is going on? Why can't the Navy, why can't the military worry about their own? A 21-year-old from Georgia, one of the victims. It's just outrageous. And Trumpers, hold on to yourself here. It's almost like a spoiler alert. I have to, talk about snowflakes. I'm going to be mildly critical of your president, so relax. What do we have to do? Okay, hold on. This has got a hold. We got traffic. All I know, I don't usually call for people to lose their jobs. People should lose their jobs over this. How are we not able to protect our own service people it's not an actual base. What do they call it? It's a naval center or something. It's just completely outrageous. I feel like I'm safer, that the security around here is better. The amazing number of levels. Well, nobody looks at... Look, if you're going to have... I understand. We were selling military equipment to them. They've got to know how to use it. We have an alliance. But you should be spying on anybody that is part of one of these programs from that part of the world. I'm sorry. We've had problems before. Doesn't matter what the Saudi prince thinks. He can't control the minds of everybody who's in his country, in his military. I mean, you have to be approved to come over. So we're not watching this guy enough to know that he got a hunting license. Number one, I call him in the office. You going hunting somebody? What's going on? You and your buddies doing a lot of hunting? And then he uses the hunting license to get to a loophole to buy a Glock. Hey, so you're into hunting. Nobody brought him in the office? Is a Glock the best way to hunt? I don't know. I'm not a hunter. Alan says no. He knows what he's talking about. How can all of things... But you know what? I'll bet you I'll bet you the Navy has their diversity numbers ready to go. I'll bet you that. I bet you they got that one down. Well, when they have to report 17 times a year to 15 different boards about their diversity programs, I'll bet you they've got that under control. But foreigners coming to live here as guests, getting hunting license to get a loophole to buy a Glock, so-called for hunting, and then getting it into the classroom where you're not supposed to have any guns. Boy, but I really hope they've got all the trans issues worked out. All right, go ahead. Alan just walked out, so we can't hit the headline. Just go ahead with the next.
Well, a United Airlines...
Hold on. Alan's back. Hit it.
Headlines for Monday, December 9th.
I know. I was on a rant. Usually that goes on a little bit longer. I know.
Well, everything just feels right when you hit the headlines like that. Dr. Voice Lady always helps us out.
I just want to get... this is all I'm going to say about this again, is we spend an awful lot of time on issues that are absurd, that won't go away, that people just come, we're just not... You think we can keep our own military people safe in this country, in military facilities? We had a shooting a couple weeks ago, last week, on a different base. Remember when Bush was president? What was it, in Texas? Fort Hood. How is this happening all the time? Let's take 7 people off the diversity thing and put them on security. It's called priorities. And, before we went, I was to say to Trumpers, I'm sorry, but I'm being a little slightly critical of your personal saint. The first thing he starts talking about, I spoke to the Saudi Arabian prince. I think they're going to be very good to the families. Is this what we need to hear? On first blush, they're going to pay off the families. Look, we know that happens. That's not something to brag about. That's not even something to bring up. We do it. Everybody does it. When we do it. We've paid off a lot of families in the Middle East because we weren't targeting people, but we killed innocent people in something else. It's a thing that happens. It's weird, but it's a thing that happens. You can't bring the person back. You pay off the family. Okay, so you know it's going to happen. But for Trump to bring that up in the first thing, if that was my kid, I would be really offended. Yeah, we know money's coming. Guess what? It's not going to bring our son back. Anyway, all right, I'm going to try to back up here a little bit, but I really hope they've got all their diversity stuff taken care of. Security got a little lax. But you should look at our diversity numbers. They're up. They look really good. All right, I'm going to try to get out of this bad mood.
All right, well, let's try this story.
You're going to hit impeachment, and I'll be in the worst mood.
I promise I won't go there. A United Airlines passenger said that she was stung by a scorpion on a flight en route to Atlanta from San Francisco on Thursday morning.
Is she going to live?
Yeah, she's going to live.
I just watched a movie over the weekend from the 1950s where a guy got stung by a scorpion, and he died. Richard Burton. Stung by a scorpion and he died, but he was in the middle of the desert.
Okay. So they had those real bad scorpions in the desert.
The desert from World War II.
Yeah,
those were some bad scorpions. So she lived.
Those little ones.
Was the flight originate in Arizona or something? Or
it said it came from San Francisco, but those planes, they go everywhere.
Yeah, they're not necessarily. Yeah.
Well, we have scorpions here.
Do we?
In Georgia? Yeah, they're small. And, they're not particularly dangerous, but their stings hurt. I've been stung by one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a bee sting a little bit.
Yeah, and it swells up. It hurts.
Well,
they crawl on you at night.
Well, no, I don't need any more reasons to be afraid.
I'm just telling you, they crawl on you at night.
I just want to be your friend.
This is why I keep my home at 64 degrees. Because insects and bugs cannot handle that. I keep my house Kroger cold.
Oh.
That's why supermarkets are always so cold.
Yeah.
Because the doors are always opening up. And if insects get in, they're like, whoa. What to do?
I can't go to those tomatoes. It's cold.
Bugs. So the person's going to live.
The person's going to live.
They'll probably get like $1 million or something for it in the end.
I think the shocking thing is that this has happened before on United Airlines too. Back in 2017, there was a flight from Houston where a gentleman got stung by a scorpion too. So I don't know what's going on with United.
I got to worry about that now. I got enough fears when I get on a plane.
Here I am, stung you on the airplane. I just wanted to get that out there.
Because that song was done by
the Scorpion.
There you go. I don't know what to say. I hope the person's okay. I guess, if you think about the number of planes that take off and land in this country and in this world every day, you're going to get stories every once in a while. Better not happen again, though.
Maybe they'll have a new light, on the top. You have the no smoking.
Check for scorpions.
Scorpion light.
Yeah, there may be scorpions about.
Irreverent,
entertaining,
gut-busting,
very funny, and doesn't toe any party line.
I think it's a great show.
The Von Haessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I think we're back.
Yes, we are.
All right, just to follow up on, usually with all the double standards and the hypocrisy, at the age of 55, I've gotten to the point now where I've decided, just laugh at this stuff. It's America. It's a phase. We'll get back to normals. Millennials will grow up. Life will happen to them. And CNN and MSNBC and Fox and all their double standards and the way they present the news, it's better just to kind of laugh at it all. But, with this Pensacola shooting on so many levels, obviously you could never laugh at that, but I can't help but be angry. And so much of it has to do with, I hate the term political correctness, but even though I don't use that term, you know what I mean. With the FBI has to, hey, we don't know it's terrorism. Oh yeah, he's from Saudi Arabia and he's in the middle. But hey, let's back off. It's just so annoying. So this is the way that it is. It's okay to jump to the conclusion that a 16-year-old kid wearing a MAGA hat had a heart full of hate when confronted by a Native American with a drum. But a Saudi national kills 3 people on a naval base, and hey, let's not jump to any conclusions here. Usually I can laugh these things off, but this morning I can't. Clark Howard's Christmas Kids had a record-setting start this weekend thanks to you, our great listeners. It's not too late to join in 95.5 WSB's annual campaign to take care of Christmas for all of Georgia's foster kids. The complete schedule of events and Walmart locations where you can help us out can be found at WSBradio.com. My mood, I'm in the mood, and it's not just for serious things. I find I get in these moods, and I just have trouble. This is not a serious thing, but I just want to tell the world, it's not Gal Gadot. If I hear one more person on the news say that Wonder Woman is played by Gal Gadot, it's Gal Gadot. Not the most important thing in the world, I understand, but personally annoying to me. And I have a microphone, so I do what I can. Let's do this.
This is interesting.
Or...
No, thanks.
So I think this is self-explanatory, so let me explain it to you. Jared is going to throw off some headlines, and then I will respond with either...
This is interesting.
Or...
No, thanks.
Turns out I talk about them either way. It really doesn't matter, but it's just the way that we do it. Okay, go ahead.
Got a big pile full of headlines.
A big pile full.
Yeah,
that's usually not a good thing when you say I've got a pile full of things.
Pile full of
You
headlines.
sound organized.
Yeah,
I got everything in a pile.
Hey, whatever comes up. You need to clean your desk, pal, but go ahead.
That we gathered from the weekend here. So we'll start with this first headline from Business Insider.
Business Insider, that is a supposed business blog where all they do is talk about how climate change is going to kill you very soon, and we've got to get rid of this Trump.
Yes, it's almost as bad as Reuters.
I don't know a lot of business people who that's naturally fall into those categories, but maybe it's a new breed of business people. Go ahead.
So here's the headline.
We really need to be taxed higher. This is the Business Insider.
Yeah, I want to hire less people.
Yeah, these are
more.
These are the business people who are longing for more regulation.
They found a very interesting observation, the Business Insider folks.
Oh, did they?
Trump's salt and pepper shakers tower over everyone else's. Obama, Bush, and Clinton used the same size shakers as their guests.
No, thanks.
Yeah, this is a story where, first of all, you recognize this, and the people who write these stories know this. I would say there is at least a 90% chance that the president has nothing to do with what the salt shakers and the pepper shake, what they're going to look like or be.
That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. Everyone knows I don't like a lot of spice. I like salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Salt and pepper, the backbone of American seasoning.
You're a big fan of salt and pepper.
Hey, look. Well, gosh, you know who doesn't like salt and pepper? They were the best rappers, female rappers of the 80s. But listen, any recipe, what does it tell you? Salt and pepper.
That's right.
They don't say, oh, this and that and onion,
This is
salt
a lot.
and pepper.
This is a lot like that story. Remember, he got 2 scoops of ice cream or something. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Really?
supposed to be some kind of thing to tell us, hey, this guy's got a big ego. Really? Hey, we're only 3 years into the administration. Thanks for that. The news tell, this Trump, it turns out, hey, you know what? Wow, we've got a deep, insightful report for you. We think we found evidence that President Trump might have a large ego. Wow, what?
Yeah, one of the bullet
That's
points.
breaking news.
One of the bullet points says this could be another one of his power moves, alongside his fierce handshakes and bulky suits.
Yeah.
I intimidate you with my salt shakers. How you feeling? Are you intimidated?
If you are a representative of a constituency in the United States or from a foreign country and you are intimidated by the size of the president's salt shaker.
Pretty big salt shaker, isn't it, wherever you're from? Uganda, I guess you probably don't even have that.
All right, we have to just give a traffic up. Hang in there if you're stuck in that. That must be horrible. I always have, whenever I see, sometimes I'll be watching, if they have a big backup, and you're watching the news, and you see, for miles and miles and miles. And I always think, boy, there's more than one person in that traffic jam who made the wrong decision leaving work. I'll go to the bathroom when I get home. And then boom, I'm going to add 3 hours to your travel time. I hope there are plenty of jars and such.
Do you get out and go?
Me?
Would you get out and go to the side of the road if you really had to?
I have an iron bladder, man. I have the ability to really, really, it would take a lot. It would take a lot. And I'm shy. I don't know. Where would you get out? Would you just run to the side? Or
Yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah, park on the shoulder and then just go
how
out
are you
in
going
the
to get to the
woods.
shoulder if you're in the middle of the lane, though?
Well, you kneel out that way. If you're in the middle, you kneel out.
I shouldn't tell the story, my wife, but one time we went down to Atlanta Motor Speedway. We had friends in town, and we were all going to go to the race together, and we get in this traffic jam, and then it starts raining, and then an hour later they say the race isn't going to happen, so then it's the traffic jam out. And so it took 3 hours just to get out of the track. Not the whole thing, but just get out of the track.
Yeah.
And we're in some sort of passenger van, and my wife had to go really bad, and we had to give her a bottle. She went to the back of the... I tell my friends, all right, don't look, that's my wife back there.
In a van.
Yeah.
Hey, she's a trooper.
What's more appropriate than a van?
Right.
All right, go ahead.
All right, this next headline comes from Market Watch. Walmart is apologizing for featuring a Christmas sweater showing Santa with cocaine in front of him and his pants appearing to be off.
This is interesting.
First of all, I think there were 2 sweaters. I think it was the other sweater that he had his pants off or something else. Because I saw this one, and there's a table in front of him that has 3 lines of cocaine,
Yes.
and it says, let it snow. Oh, my goodness, we can't make a joke. I like the way that the headlines... Walmart has to take that. It wasn't at any Walmart. No one at Walmart said, let's put these up on the shelves. Walmart, by the way, is one of the only retail stores or chains that is effectively competing against Amazon.com with their online presence. And a lot of what they do is a lot like Amazon.com. Everything you go to Walmart for isn't something that is in the Walmart store. They have third-party vendors who get involved. And so this was a third-party vendor. It was a joke sweater. And again, somebody produce the victim. It's a joke. When I was a kid, I saw all kinds of things, but I didn't know what it meant because I was a kid. So here's the real truth, people. If you're 8 years old and you're waiting for Santa Claus and you saw that sweater, it would have 0 effect on you. Unless back at home, you're aware of what cocaine is.
Santa's like Daddy.
Yeah, Santa's a lot. We should get that sweater for Daddy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just how much more of this? I know I'm in this mood today, but how much more of this? People can't take a joke. It's a joke. Oh, this must be. We have to apologize. Who are you apologizing to? Just exactly who is Walmart apologizing to? The 7 people who complained online, probably? And I'll bet when it was featured online on Twitter or whatever, it was some kind of snarky, way to go, Walmart.
Yeah, here's one user here that wrote on Walmart's website. This is all caps.
Oh, excuse me.
Walmart is advertising cocaine on its Christmas sweaters?
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're advertising that you should snort more cocaine. That's exactly what it is. What happened to us as a... You know what? The truth is, nothing happened. People are pretty much the same. It's just the reaction, the catalyst people who get these fires going, and then the corporate idiots who overreact and do more than put the fire out. They put so much water down on the ground you can't grow anything there for 10 years.
It's
great. Just absurd. I cannot wait until one of these companies says, "Hey, it's a joke. If you don't like it, I have an idea. Don't buy one." But there's no victims. America, stop getting angry and then standing up for people who don't exist. There are no victims. There's a good chance that anybody listening to me right now has never known anyone who's ever been actually outraged about anything. Do you know what outrage is? You can't speak. In the moment, you are so beside yourself that you try to speak and your jaw kind of locks up. And if you don't got that going on, well, in the name of other people who are weaker than me, I am outraged. That's going to be my new thing. When any time that we have one of these things where it has to be an apology, present the victim. Present the victim. Who's the victim? Because are they going to make $1 million? No. It's a non-story. We used to have jokes like this all the time. I bought a blacklight poster from Spencer Gifts when I was 14 that had a really cool cat in a top hat smoking a joint.
How dare you?
Nobody had to apologize for that.
Speaking as someone who likes cats, I know they don't do that.
Yes. Putting cats. But I mean, was it not? Did they not know they had teenagers buying blacklight posters? And isn't it encouraged? Nah, look at me. I did all right. I got a job where I can come in a bad mood and just unleash it on an entire city. I did okay. All right. Hold on. How much time do I have here, Alan? 1 minute. Very quickly.
All right. This is from USA Today. Frozen 2 three-peats at number 1 heads for $1 billion worldwide.
This is interesting.
Hey, play that song. What's the song from this one?
This is called Into the Unknown.
I am afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you.
All right, you know what?
Into the unknown.
Stop it. Stop. Okay, I changed my mind.
No, thanks.
I don't know what you're thinking about America, but I ain't with you. We'll be back. All right, we're in the middle of this is interesting or no thanks. So give me another one.
This one comes from Yahoo Entertainment.
Oh, they're good.
No, so good.
When it comes to entertainment.
Yahoo.
How is Yahoo even a company anymore? I don't know. Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say that. My good friend Jay Busby used to read all this stuff. Sports guy for Yahoo. So their Yahoo Sports is great.
Yes. And their fantasy, that's probably pretty
The fantasy they're very good at.
Yes.
But apparently their entertainment news.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, you can't beat it. You know what? I take it all back. Yahoo has never been better.
We should get all of us.
You know what? I got rid of Bing and Google. I'm going back to Yahoo. Do they even have a search engine anymore?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Weren't they the first ones with a search engine?
They were one of the big ones. Yeah, Yahoo.
Yeah, one of those. I can't remember that guy's name. They made a bunch of money and got out. Sorry. Go ahead.
So here's the headline from Yahoo Entertainment. Miss Universe's first openly gay contestant came out just days ago, and she says, quote, "I just started a new chapter."
This is interesting.
I see Tim Andrews on his face. He thinks I'm going to go on a politically correct rant here or something like that. I'm not. This lady's got a lot of courage. She's from Burma.
Yeah, her name is Swazidhat, I think.
I worry about this lady. Now, I haven't been to Burma. Homosexuality is against the law in Burma. I don't know what it's like in Burma. I don't know how much things are enforced. But I hope that she didn't get inside of a bubble in the West and get real comfortable and put herself... I mean, I'm glad that she let the world know who she is. I'm all for that. But now the pageant's over, and you go back home, and so I got to, at the very least, you got to tip your cap. She's got a lot of, I guess you have to say, intestinal fortitude. But so I'm not going to go on a politically correct rant on this one. I wish her the best. She's got to go back to Burma now. I hope she's safe. Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Hey, after a tough loss to LSU at the SEC Championship game, Georgia's headed to New Orleans to take on Baylor in the Sugar Bowl. And, of course, you can hear the game live on WSB right here on New Year's Day. And stay with WSB for daily continuing coverage with Jay Black on Atlanta's Morning News. Before we go to more headlines, here's a headline that jumped out at me. There's if there isn't enough to worry about with this new Star Wars movie coming out, when does it come out? This week? Later this week?
The 20th.
20th. I think it looks like it's going to, well, let's just say not be the best Star Wars movie. It can't be the worst because being worse than the last one, I think, is nearly impossible.
I'm feeling a B- on this one.
You're feeling a B-?
A B-
with
on
a
this.
Smile on your face like, if I can just get a B-, I'll be happy.
J.J. Abrams, I'm counting on you, buddy, to save this.
Oh, yeah. I was telling my
this.
kids yesterday, J.J. Abrams, okay, well, he's going to make a movie that's not quite bad enough to complain about. Like he does with most of his movies.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be, I guess you're right. B-.
But you go in knowing nothing's going to happen to Rey.
Well, of course, because that's a whole other thing. Rey, it turns out that all of the whole Jedi thing was just waiting for the greatest one of all, Skywalker.
Yeah.
No, not Luke.
Yeah.
Not the one you loved. No. It turns out that it's this character who appears to have almost no backstory or anything interesting to say or do, or she's just powerful. So if you're an 8-year-old girl, okay, go. Maybe that's true. That's all she's got.
But did you guys see the trailer?
Hold on. There's more news. Star Wars epilepsy hazard. Disney says Rise of Skywalker may pose seizure risk, and they're asking all theaters to have things where you go to let people know who are prone to epilepsy, seizures, and other photosensitivities. I mean, that could be like, migraines, I guess.
Or the Flaming Lips playing the Cantina bar?
Yeah. Weren't you at a Flaming Lips show once?
And that happened, yes.
Somebody went into an epileptic, which...
They had to stop the show, but they had warnings the whole time,
Well,
too.
you have to. I mean, most people listening to us don't even know what the Flaming Lips are, but there are a lot of strobe lights and that kind of thing in their stage show, and they're not playing State Farm Arena. They're playing Tabernacle. Mm-hmm. But they bring enough lights to play State Farm Arena. Yeah. So, I mean, I think if you're epileptic, or you need to make sure that you don't go to things like this, right? Because it's highly dangerous. Highly dangerous. We recommend that you provide at your venue, box office, and online, and at other appropriate places where your customers will see it, a notice containing the following information. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker contains several sequences with imagery and sustained flashing lights that may affect those who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy or have other photosensitivity. So you heard it here first. It's probably, within a week, if you're prone to these seizures and you can't see this movie and it's kind of bumming you out, I think by the time you get the reports about 1 week in about how horrible it is, you'll realize you didn't miss anything. So it may just be kind of a lucky coincidence.
But did you see the trailer where Rey was holding the red lightsaber and she looked like she was on the dark side? It could really happen, guys. It's
Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Who cares?
But it could really happen.
Who cares? I don't care about Rey. Can I tell you this? I don't care about... I like Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh, but then again, I'm an old patriarchal misogynist. Let's do this.
More headlines for Monday, December 9th.
Oh, yeah. Got a groove. Yeah. All right. What do you got?
Now, I kind of buried the lead a little bit about what that Miss Universe story. Because
you always bury the lead. That's just the fact that Jared gave us the headline means I always put the warning out there. 50% chance the lead was buried. So, yes.
Well, obviously, we got the announcement that the first openly gay contestant
came out. She didn't win. Who won?
Didn't win. We have a new winner from...
Isn't it the same as last year? Didn't Miss South Africa win last year as well? I don't really follow beauty pageants anymore because I have the internet.
The new...
Don't need it anymore.
The new Miss Universe is...
Oh, boy.
South Africa!
Harvey forgot to say miss. That's all right. At least he didn't get the whole. She got it right this time. Isn't it the first time Steve Harvey's back since he got it wrong when he called the wrong?
Yeah,
all right, hold on. We still have a traffic red alert. Did she answer any questions, or is there? What is Miss Universe? I have trouble. Miss America had some gravitas when I was growing up. She was Miss America.
Yeah.
So there's a chance if you went to a car show or something, she'd be there. And you said, meet Miss America. But it depended where you went. You might meet the kid from Leave It to Beaver. You might meet Miss America. It depended which car show.
Spanky was still alive.
Yeah.
Spanky
did boat shows.
Yeah.
Spanky. But, I can barely understand the relevance of Miss America anymore in the Me Too era and all that. They have to ruin all these beauty pageants. I bet you they don't even call them beauty pageants anymore because that would imply that beauty had something to do with it.
Right.
So they're really kind of anachronistic. You know what that word means?
I don't think so.
Every day I'm going to teach my Jared Yamamoto. It's something that's out of time. I mean, it's anachronistic. It's something that used to be relevant. It's not relevant anymore. And so, to me, that's how all these beauty pageants are. But Miss Universe was always the stepchild to Miss America when beauty pageants had relevance.
Right.
What does Miss Universe do now? What does she just...
Well, get some work going over the new Tyler Perry Studios downtown Southside. Happy that it happens here in Atlanta.
It doesn't matter. You just, have an automatic thing. And so that didn't answer my question.
Is that the one Trump used to own? Miss Universe?
I believe so, yeah.
The president owned?
He had to let that go when he became president. Otherwise, it'd be an emolument. I don't know if it would be an emolument. I mean, you make money from it, I guess.
I colluded with Burma.
That's right. Well, Miss South Africa, I think that's two years in a row. But I couldn't tell you what the name of Miss South Africa was last year or this. I'm much like Steve Harvey. I would have no idea who the actual Miss Universe is if I saw her. Yes.
Well, of course, they asked her some questions. So here's Miss South Africa talking about what young girls should be taught.
What is the most important thing we should be teaching young girls today?
Stop. What a softball, stupid, idiotic question. Well, let's just set you up to say the thing that we've heard 9,000 people say exactly the same thing for the last 15 years. Watches this crap. Hey, it's an obvious thing. Watch it. I wonder what her answer is. I wonder if she answered that we should tell our little girls that they should just do everything they can to meet a good husband and keep a clean house. I wonder if she said that. Let's see if that's what she said. What did she say?
What is the most important thing we should be teaching young girls today?
I think the most important thing we should be teaching young girls today is leadership.
Oh, stop.
It's something...
I was wrong. I thought well, that came out of nowhere. Why, my goodness, I haven't heard this sort of rhetoric before. This is all brand new to me. That's out. What did she say? They should be taught leadership. Oh my goodness! I thought she'd say something about cooking and cleaning. I've never heard of this sort of thing. This blows me away.
What is the most important thing we should be teaching young girls today?
I think the most important thing we should be teaching young girls today is leadership. It's something that has been lacking in young girls and women for a very long time.
Yeah.
Not because we don't want to, but because of what society has labeled women to be.
Yeah, it's my fault.
I think we are the most powerful beings on the world, and that we should be given every opportunity. And that is what we should be teaching these young girls, to take up space. Nothing as important as taking up space in society and cementing yourself.
Taking up space? What the hell does that mean? We should tell our girls that they should take up space. What the hell does that mean? We're the most powerful. This always happens, by the way. Whenever everything starts out with the right idea. Equality just means equality, right? It just means, hey, you look at the Constitution, it applies to everybody equally. Equal. But it always turns into, along the way, no matter what the aggrieved class is, along the way of the legitimate path of saying, hey, we deserve equality like everyone else, every aggrieved group along the way somehow finds out, you know what, we not only should be equal, it turns out we're better. We actually are better, and actually we should dominate. It never becomes a thing, no, we should just have the same opportunities. That should be the easiest sell in the world in America. Everyone should have the same opportunities. Hey, along the way, what we found out is that women are actually better than men. And all women are wonderful, and no women are petty, ever, about anything, not like men. And no women ever wanted to go to war or anything. It's just absurdity, as opposed to the reality of, hey, you're an American, and she's from South Africa, or you're on the world stage even. Speak up. You have a right to speak up. Don't let anybody tell you can't speak up or be part of the conversation. But the idea that you should be in space, I'm going to attribute that to being English being a second language, but South Africa they do speak kind of a Dutch version of English, right?
Yeah, Afrikaan.
So maybe, I don't know. It's absurd now. This is not difficult. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. This is easy. We don't have to go from one aggrieved group to another aggrieved group. It's a blanket policy. Everyone, hey, once a year on New Year's Day, the President of the United States can go on TV and say, in case you missed it, the Constitution applies to everybody in the country. All right, thank you. Have a good year. They go from one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing. All right. That music tells me that we have only 50 seconds left, so we have to fill it somehow.
Well, we need more leadership, Eric.
We need more leadership, but not from men. And you know what? I think that we can help little girls out by destroying every male hero in the entertainment industry.
That goes a long way.
The last 40 years.
Yeah.
James Bond. I hope what the next James Bond movie does is let me know, as a 55-year-old man, that I was wrong in the 1970s to admire James Bond. Because it was a different time, and we were backward back then. And so, get ready for the new female Bond. She's even better than the male Bonds. Oh, I thought we still had 15 seconds left. What do I know? Well, won't early. Okay, well, all right, we'll be back. When I was in the break room, I heard Mannheim Steamroller. God, I can't stand that. Are they coming live? They're not spending any money here, are they? I cannot stand that. Are they actively trying to kill Christmas? Is that the idea behind Mannheim Steamroller? Just to make Christmas awful?
If they were, you'd see them on Fox News killing Christmas.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that'd be that. I just, I don't know. It's horrible music, isn't it? Is it me? Is it me?
I don't even know what they are.
I'm not asking you, Jared. You have no musical taste.
What are they?
That's not true.
They're not like the pipe organ, right?
No, they're just that electronics like robots do.
Oh, okay. I can live with that.
This is the only. It's always the go-to music for the person who does the Christmas lights show on their house.
Yeah.
It's always Mannheim Steamroller. All I hear is, I hate Christmas. I hate Christmas. Christmas is awful. Christmas is... Who wants to have a bunch of robots do Christmas music for them? Yes.
I do think they need to change it up a little bit. It's been repetitive for years and years and years.
Now
they need to adjust.
I agree. I'm calling for a 10-year moratorium on Mannheim Steamroller anything. And then in 10 years, we let them come back. Maybe it seems a bit novel or interesting.
Yeah, go more of a trap route, you know?
You could drive around listening to that. It would drive me crazy. My nerves. Worse than that Barbra Streisand Jingle Bells. All right, Alan. Very funny. Trying to torture me with this horrific... I guess we do a special on Christmas Day or something.
We do.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Hey, wave to the people that are doing the tour. Wave, and wave them back. I like to, when they're young adults, I like to see who's too cool to wave back. Then I know who the leaders are when I see the ones who are too cool to wave back. I feel like it's weird, but we have tours all the time. There's a big window there. And I feel like, have you ever been on like one of those boardwalks or something where they have the world's greatest fudge factory or something, candy,
yeah.
And in the window the guy's making the candy. And I always thought, I would hate to have that job because you can't make any mistakes. You're basically making food on stage.
You can't pick your nose.
Yeah, you can't. You can't do the little things you get away with as a prep cook in the back. Luckily, it doesn't last that long. Yes.
When I worked at the large airline in town, down the street, they would always tell us that it was called...
I want people not to be confused. This is the... we don't say names here. This would be the airline that starts with a D, ends with an A, and has Elt in the middle.
Yeah, that
okay.
one.
All right.
And one of the things that when I would work on the ramp, and I would be called, I was a wing walker.
You were a wing walker?
Yeah, and that's where you guide the plane in and out.
I didn't know that about you.
In and out of the gate.
I heard people say that behind his back, but I didn't know he was an actual wing walker.
You cracked World War II code?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. He also he would barnstorm the nation, putting on big shows.
I think that was
He'd walk on the wings.
Yeah, I'm on the wing.
I think that was a wind talker.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Go ahead.
But one of the things that they would tell us was that it was a fishbowl effect. Like everybody on the plane would be watching you while you're out there guiding the plane.
Yeah,
and
so you can't scratch your behind.
Yeah, just don't do anything stupid while you're out there. It's kind of like that here when the tour groups come. We can't be scratching our behinds or doing anything.
Oh, I do that.
No, Tim Andrews is explained that he's in his natural habitat, so people understand. So as we go on further with my 3-hour-long bad mood this morning on Monday, I tell you that
you?
So yeah, me. I've been in a little bit of I wouldn't say a bad mood, just kind of one of these up to here kind of things. Not really willing to take anything anymore. So this morning I wake up and I tell my wife all the time. My wife has a mobile phone, smartphone. Obviously, everybody does. My wife doesn't understand that they're mobile phones. So when she leaves the house, she leaves the phone at home. So I said, well, I don't need it where I'm going. Well, the whole point is, say you blew a tire. Well, what if I blew a tire in 1978? Well, it's not 1978. You don't have to walk a mile and a half and flag somebody down. So she does work. She does this. She does this constantly. And this morning, she leaves to go to Florida. So first of all, last time she was in Florida, and we just found this, it's like a month late, she took my car and ran a toll. She said she doesn't remember it. So I just paid for that today when I got home. When I got here. And then this morning, as I'm about to walk out, she left. She likes to beat the traffic when she goes down there. So she left about 5:15. About 6:05, I'm getting ready to leave the house. I look down. There's the phone. Now it's going to be on me. Every time I tell her, because this is why this doesn't happen to us. We lose our phones sometimes, but we have them with us at all times. So we never have to remind ourselves to bring the phone. She has to remind herself to bring the phone. Then she goes to another state, doesn't take her phone. Now she can't get in touch with me because we don't use our landline anymore. I got to go down FedEx the damn phone to her.
She's staying with relatives or at a hotel?
She's staying with my mother-in-law.
So you can just stop.
This is the same woman, by the way, who lately I've realized twice. I believe in locking the door when you get in the house. I don't know. I've been around news long enough to know that home invasion or what. I know it's not really going to happen, but
just a habit. You lock the door. Just a habit.
I lock the door. I don't want people to walk in. So twice in the last couple of weeks, I'm sitting watching some sports show. That's all I do. Some people talking about whether Dak should get paid or not for the 9 billionth time. And knock, 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 knock. My wife has decided that she doesn't need to keep her house keys on her keychain for her cars. And I don't know how long you can go for 15 minutes before you just go, okay, do whatever you want. But next time I said, I hear you knocking at the door, I'm not going to answer it. Because I told you how to solve this problem. Here's the deal. If your house keys are on the same ring as your car keys, guess what? Every time you get out of the car, you know where your house keys. And she argues with me. This is the woman who's now headed to Florida and probably about now realizing she left her mobile phone on the kitchen table. We still have a traffic alert to check up this. I know we're supposed to do a segment here, but didn't you say you just got some kind of thing from some GOP thing?
Oh, yeah. So
I'm in the mood to
I get a lot of emails.
Rag on everybody.
I get a lot of emails from outside organizations.
Well, you're the producer of a talk show that we've never listened to, but let us assume that it's like every other talk show in America.
That's exactly how it's like.
Would you like to have a guest on? Well, you didn't take the time to find out they really don't have guests. Anyway.
So the subject line for this is RNC Radio Week Ahead.
Whoa, okay. Wow. Yeah. Hey, here we go.
Hi, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Below are some stories and topics that we are following this week.
Yeah, hold on. Topics. Hey, what are your topics? How much of my life I had to deal with idiot people in radio ask, hey, what are your topics?
Clyde
Cliverson here, my radio guru / consultant.
Yeah.
You big on topics. What are your topics?
Well, topics are important. Jared sets the table with the topics, and you guys chew on them.
You know what I say? People now ask me what my topics are. I say, here's my topic. you signed a 3-year contract with me. So you either let me go on and talk about what I want to talk about, or you just pay me to go away. That's my topic today.
How do you feel about that, audience? If you sign a contract with your employers, leave you alone. Calls now.
No, we're not. We don't take calls.
Oh, yeah, no calls?
No calls. We don't take calls.
Jared, how do you do that?
You can use the open mic.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Use the open mic to let Eric know. What are your topics? Here's a great thing. I will tell you. Do young people get in radio still?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess there were, toward the end, there were, dinosaur handlers, right? They didn't know. Like, hey, go into this is a good business, handling dinosaurs.
They didn't know the comet was on its way.
They had no idea. So now we have these radio, I think, some young people still get into radio. And my advice to them would be, the first time somebody asks you what your topics are, run like hell. There's no chance. You're wasting your time.
Come on now.
What are your topics?
Oh, but these are good ones. You want to hear any of them?
All right, what's your takes?
Now it's hot. You're right. I'm an old man. Now it's okay, what are your hot takes?
What are your hot takes about stuff's going on?
Here's my hot take. I'm better at this than you, so shut up and let me go on the radio. Yes.
But guys, we have the Keep America Great rally in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's going to be a big topic. Hey, what do you guys think about that?
Great chocolate.
Yeah. There we go. See, caller number 1 right there.
Hi, it's John Barron here. By the way, they have the best chocolate in Hershey Park. Oh, my God. Whole town smells like chocolate.
Long time, first time?
Long time, first time, Sean. No, Mr. President, we don't say that. Hey, wait, it's John Barron. With my topics.
What are your
impeachment?
Topics?
Fake news.
Impeachment's number 3 on the list, but the November jobs report jumps impeachment.
Oh, yeah. They have guests available for us?
They do. They have lots of guests.
What guests do they want us to take?
They said,
we have a guest that's gonna lie to your audience. They're going to pander to your audience and tell them everyone they hate on the other side of the aisle is going to jail as soon as X, Y, or Z report comes out.
This lady writes in her email, she says, I would love to put a RNC or Trump campaign spokesperson or policy area expert on your show to discuss
that would be great radio. That would be great radio. Well, I can't imagine doing anything better than having somebody who's doing 900 radio interviews a day and come on my show and say the same damn thing they said on 15 other shows. Great, yeah.
So, Eric, what the president's really trying to say here is that this is a fake news, this is a witch hunt from day one.
So let me get this straight. You're right and they're wrong. I got to the nub of it, and we still have 15 minutes left.
Well, I want to talk about the jobs report, because right now, Jerry Nadler's doing his little clown show on television. And nobody's talking about the great jobs and the numbers of people
that part
working.
That actually is true. It is. I don't know how people make this like, there's a cell job that you're living in a country that is just, it's dystopian, and everybody, and meanwhile, you can't. What was the last? What have we done? Like 3.4% unemployment or something like that. There are more jobs than people to take them. I think that's kind of a situation. That's a pretty good situation to be in.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because this is all a result of President Trump and his cutting taxes.
I'm done with it. Can you cut this guy off?
One more thing before I go.
I don't care what your book was. He's got a book.
10 ways Trump has saved America so far.
I haven't even opened up the segment, have I? You're supposed to be doing mail.
Yeah, open it up.
Open it up. Let's do it.
It's Mailbag Monday. We've got the open mics, Facebook messages, and emails we've collected from the week.
Hey, Eric, what are your topics? Oh, thank you, Program Director, for asking. My topic is about how program directors are almost always people who fail on the air, so they decide to go into management. What do you think of that topic? All right, go ahead.
All right, this first email is somebody who's very upset with you. When Kelly Loeffler, who was Brian Kemp's pick to replace Johnny Isaacson.
Excuse me, you mean...
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah, that one?
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
Sounds like she's leaving a voice message.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
I'm Kelly Loeffler. Yes, my dog was put in there on Friday, and I should be able to come pick her up today.
And she told us she was in 4-H and all that, yeah.
She's going to replace Johnny Isaacson for the remainder of his term. And you were making fun of her a little bit.
I was deconstructing her speech.
Yeah, and one of the things that she brought up was that she was in 4-H, right?
Yeah, which I thought, wow, slam dunk, you've got my vote.
And you made somebody very upset with your comments about that.
Who? The head of the 4-H Corporation of America?
Well, she signs her email here. Kathy Worthy.
Bad cookies. They're not nearly as good as the Girl Scout cookies. 4-H.
Subpar.
What do they sell? Cotton candy.
Inner tubes. Hey, we got inner tubes. It's an annual inner tube drive.
We have sheep bladders.
Yeah, I got sheep bladders. We got haggis. The kids made the haggis.
She signs her letter. Kathy Worthy, passionate 4-H'er, passionate 4-H volunteer.
All right, so this is somebody who's going to tell me that 4-H is so important that no one should ever make jokes about it. It's actually so important that it's one of those things that deserves to be sacrosanct, above joking. No one, okay, you know what? I don't even have to hear the letter. Let me just say I apologize. I now realize how wrong I was. 4-H is so important that no one should ever say anything snarky about it. I hope you accept my apology, Miss Worthy. I hope my apology is worthy of Worthy.
I'm Kelly Loeffler.
My bad mood has taken over the show. We didn't do any mail either. So,
well, you answered Miss Worthy's question.
I guess, yeah, it was a bit of a question that Miss Worthy had. Okay, so you have a little more mail?
Yeah, you know what?
Should we do it in the next hour?
You know, this will bring you up. A lot of people...
You're going to bring me up with this, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to bring...
I apologize. I was just thinking in the break. I've been doing nothing but bitching and moaning since I got on the air. I apologize. I'm a little under the weather. I don't want to take that out on the city. Well, everybody have a nice day. I'm behind you.
This first open mic is really a compliment to Tim, even though LSU took care of business against UGA.
Hey, can I tell you something? I tuned out like about a quarter and a half in.
You saw what was happening?
It's wonderful. I've given at the bank of sports misery in my life. I'm over, you know what? I'm overdrawn. And it's perfectly fine for me now. When the teams I want to win, I go crazy and celebrate. And when they lose, I pretend it didn't happen. I recommend it to everybody. Because it turns out, as much as you think you know better than the coaches, you don't. There's nothing you can do. So you just might as well pretend it didn't happen.
Well, we did get some praise from some open micers, but which we'll get to after news, weather,
right
traffic.
After this great Christmas music. Hour 3 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. And I'm going to get in a better mood. Do nothing but yelling at people. We got a bunch of people stuck in traffic listening to this show, and I'm bringing them down. So I want to get in a better mood.
We just got another guest invite, Eric, if you want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it.
Get him on another rant.
Come on, don't get it. No,
Brian, our very own Brian Kilmeade here on this station.
Yeah, okay.
For his book, Sam Houston and the Alamo Avengers.
Yeah, he already has his own show. He has his own show right here on WSB. I wish him the best of luck. I think he's one of the few people that actually writes the books that he sells. So I got to tip the cap, because I got to tell you, behind the scenes, a lot of people don't write the books that they say they wrote, and he apparently does. He writes these things. So, well, good for him. And we're not rejecting him because we don't like him. We're just rejecting him because we don't like anyone. We never have guests, so don't take it personally. So we're doing a little more mail before we go on.
Lots of open mics. First of all,
this could go either way. I'm trying to lighten myself up here. This could go either way.
People were loving Tim doing LSU's Coach O.
I don't know how much they love it now after we got,
But they love it.
Tim, I just wanted to let you know I've spent most of my life in South Louisiana, and that Coach O impression makes me laugh until I cry. That was just awesome.
Yeah, you got a bird in your house, son? You got a bird down there. We won that game big time, and nobody cared about the thing getting beaten. We done did it. Sorry about that, Kirby. You done chopped too little wood.
Yeah, it's always next year, right?
They ain't gonna be.
Well, you're losing your guy. You're losing this guy Burrows this year.
That don't mean a lot.
You got somebody else in mind?
I don't know.
That guy you just take whoever comes off the street.
Somebody will do it. We'll win it again. We got to win it now first.
Yeah, well, you won the SEC championship.
Oh, we got to win it all.
Hey, you're coming back for the Peach Bowl now. Next, play Oklahoma.
Yeah, I still got food left over from the varsity. I put it under a bridge. It'll be there when I get here.
Coach Holmes, partner.
I don't waste nothing. Need a Hummer?
Then Eric, look, the listeners are coming to your aid. This is a millennial that's looking out for you. You said that you
millennial. I've been in such a bad mood that I had written down little things, and I'm trying to get out of my bad mood. So I got a thing that I wrote down about millennials, and I'm skipping it. But I do have a note here. It'll come up a little bit later.
Now, this millennial is coming to your aid. You said that your wife, obviously she left her phone. She went on vacation.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to understand the mobile part of mobile phones. And because she doesn't always take her phone with her, then she could leave it, and she left it for Florida. And before I left the house, I look at the table, and there's her phone.
Well, this fellow millennial has got your back.
Oh, does he?
I will start by saying that I am a millennial, unfortunately. So a lot of the things that the older generation does just leaves me aghast. But anyways, hearing what your wife does absolutely makes me cringe. I mean, come on. What a dinosaur habit. You don't bring your freaking phone out in public. What's the point of it? I'm sure this is the argument you've had constantly. But your house keys, that's not a new concept. Bring your freaking house keys out with you. That way you can get into your house. Yeah. So keep fighting the battle, man.
I'll tell you what, my wife and I have been together for 32 years, but it sounds like my wife and that lady are about to get a divorce. Really
keep fighting the battle, man.
All right, I'll fight. I've been fighting the battle for 32 years. I don't know if I think I've gotten to it's a wash at this point. I've neither lost ground or gained ground in 32 years.
Sounds a little ageist to me.
The older.
The old woman getting forgetful.
This is what I. She's not. She's always been forgetful. Let me tell you a story about my wife. When so this was at least. This is probably 20. This is almost 30 years ago. Probably 30 years ago when we first got together. Her sister was coming to the airport, and I get a phone call. She goes to get her sister from the airport. And I get a phone call from the airport. This is way before smartphones or anything like that. She's on a payphone at the airport. I'm on a landline at home. She says, I need you to come pick us up. And I said, what? You drove there to get her? Yeah, but I left the car running, but I locked the doors. So this has nothing to do with age, because I think she was about 28 when this happened. So age is only pushing it. Look, can you imagine going to an airport, not only leaving your keys in your car, but leaving the car on and locking the door? That's my wife. All right, let's check on traffic. Want to hear what I wrote here from millennials? This is millennials stand on the shoulders of giants and do nothing but complain about how horrible giants are. These giants who have lifted us up so high so that we can say, well, we would rather that they never existed and that we were way down here with no ability to see what's coming. Go next.
Yeah, one more open mic for you.
Eric, since you've been on the air this morning, I've been thinking about it. You're right. It's just one of those Mondays. I mean, yeah, I understand where you are on some things. I mean, Eric, I turned 56 this coming Saturday, and the real problem is we just don't get cool Christmas presents anymore. When you think about it, we were little boys. Was always that chance of the Tonka truck, the Tonka front-end loader. Now, people can't afford what we really want, so they just give us crap.
Well, I think you got cut off there.
Crap.
You only get, I don't think that's what he was getting there. Yeah, I know Christmas is weird to me. You watch these commercials, everybody's all up in arms with this Peloton ad for completely, my goodness, I read an analysis of this ad that only just a person full of hatred in feminist studies could find from this ad. No, if you watch that Peloton ad and you see a woman who's frightened because her husband has threatened her, and so then really, you should be committed to an institution, not given space to write your article that I end up reading. I mean, it's a silly, ridiculous ad, having more to do with the reasons like we're so used to it now, these ads where the husband buys 2 cars for Christmas. Who is this being sold to? This is what I wonder about. Who is this being sold? How many people that are watching this can actually act on that impulse? You know what? I'm going to drop $110,000 and buy us both brand new top-of-the-line vehicles. How many people? I can't figure out exactly what this is about. In what family, and this gets to why we can't get good presents at our age, what family? So let's say I wake up on Christmas morning and my wife says, do I have a surprise for you? And we walk outside and she says, look at that. I bought you a brand new Corvette. What family does the other person go, Excuse me, where the hell did you get this money from?
Where have you been hoarding all the money?
This comes from, because most families, it comes out of the same account.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I don't appreciate you going and dip it into, I don't know, $75,000 without telling me. How many people can afford, usually when you make these ads, there's somebody you're trying to sell. It's like, okay, people who drink that beer, they live that kind of lifestyle. I agree. Okay, that's my lifestyle. I want to drink that kind of beer. They can buy beer. How many individuals, what is the thinking behind buy a brand new vehicle for your spouse on Christmas, and you're so damn rich that the other person doesn't immediately get angry? What? You spent this money without asking me? Consulting me?
I think that guy is on his second marriage, because in the first marriage, the second wife, she's, she's the one, I want that color. But he's willing to afford.
You're talking about the guy, they walk out there, she gives him.
I think that's his second marriage.
This is great. I don't know if I study these ads. Mm-hmm. She gives him 2 watches. One's black, one's red.
He paid for those too, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually you have a joint bank account at this point in your life. And he goes, so first of all, he's about to show her that no one's going to be thinking about these watches. Hey, nice try. He might as well, when she gives him the watches, he might as well say, nice try, honey, but let's go outside. And he's bought a brand new truck and a brand new car. And they go through the little thing where she wants the one that he had. And how many, your income at that point has to be so high as to be ridiculous. But how about the little thing that were like, it was black and red, and the car is black and red? This guy appears to be somewhere between 28 and 32. Did he invent the world? What is it? What did he do in Silicon Valley that he's this rich?
What about the other cars? Wouldn't he had to trade in the other cars?
Yeah, there's no other cars in the driveway.
Yeah. Hey, honey, where'd my car go? I don't know. Got stolen.
They live in a house that looks like it was built personally by Frank Lloyd Wright. And they're like in their early 30s. How many people watching these commercials can relate to this? And like I say, it's like, I like pizza and we have parties all night. Okay, I'll eat that pizza. That person can afford the pizza. You can afford the beer. You can afford most of the things you can even afford a new iPhone.
Yeah, but the next shot on that ad is the financing. Oh, look, if you just
all you gotta do is go in debt for the next 9 billion years.
Honey, I got us a couple cars. Mortgage the house. We got to sleep in the cars, but we each got one.
I usually advertising, but you see it every year. Now, I know there are people who are dumb enough and boring enough to just copy what they see on TV. And it's like, if you're a wife and your husband, and on the day and there's a big bow on top of it, just leave him then. This guy has no originality, no creativity whatsoever. I watched those. I thought if you could do my wife, nah. Look, if you're not creative, don't try. You're just embarrassing yourself.
But what if you get her the Lexus truck, and there's a thing on the back of it, like a hitch or, like a towing thing, and on that towing thing is a Peloton bicycle. So you get the car.
That's right.
And the Peloton.
Yeah, get yourself in shape there, honey.
2 bows.
I got to dig up this feminist article I read about this Peloton ad. You would not believe it. There's zero possibility that there's any truth to this at all. Only believed. What is happening?
Yeah, it's like, Jared, what are you doing?
The song. Is it in the song?
Yeah.
I thought I was freaking out. This is called Smoke 2 Joints. That's one too many for me, Alan. I wanted to read some of this insane Guardian article about the Peloton ad, but I don't have enough time here. But it's called Peloton Husband, because the husband, the guy, the actor, he kind of said, look, my life is kind of being ruined here. He's a teacher, I think, and he does acting, commercial acting. And it's like, I just said yes to an ad, and now he's getting all kinds of grief. Supposedly he's the biggest misogynist. But when we come back, I got to read a little bit of this article from The Guardian's Arwa Madawi. Let me tell you something. I'm looking at her picture. This lady, she ain't taking no guff from no fella. So this Guardian article with the Peloton ad. Peloton husband trying to prove he's not sexist misses the whole point. By Arwa Madawi. And, her picture in the Guardian just basically says, I was put on earth to tell men why they're wrong. about everything. Very stern look that says, hey, don't mess with me. So I guess the Peloton husband, the guy who plays the husband in this unfortunate ad, his life's been kind of ruined because he's just a commercial actor. Yeah, he just took a job. And now, but sociology people, only sociology people could see this ad like this. I just think it's a ridiculous ad. She's a beautiful woman. She walks downstairs. Look, it's not about losing weight, obviously, but you can use an exercise bike to just be healthy. Do people understand this? It could just be about health. Maybe she asked him for a bike. So, first of all, there's a lot of snarky stuff about the guy. Sean Hunter, a Canadian actor and school teacher, was thrilled when he booked a role in a Peloton ad. He had a blast filming the commercial, and when the ad came out in November, his friends commented told him it was great. But this week, the ad went viral, and poor Hunter's world started to fall apart. You see the snarky? He's a guy. He doesn't have a right to feel bad about anything. Poor Hunter's world started to fall apart. Twitter declared the ad very bad indeed. People were mean about him on the internet and suggested the fictional husband he played was abusive. So now he finds that he's like some role, playing the role of the patriarchy. He just took a job. All right, now this is from the point of view of this writer, and she, by the way, there is no doubt, 7 of her best 10 friends are parts of sociology departments on campuses somewhere. For those of you who haven't seen the ad yet, a woman gets Peloton's $2,400 Wi-Fi-enabled exercise bike from her husband for Christmas. She starts a video diary of her sessions and manages to give the unnerving impression that her husband will beat her or leave her if she doesn't wake up early every morning to exercise on her fancy bike. 3 weeks ago, I talked about what a stupid ad this was. I never got that impression from it. That's the impression, and then now she gets involved. But I suggest you watch the ad for yourself because words can't do justice to how cringeworthy it is. Indeed, when I first saw it trending, I assumed Peloton had made the ad awful on purpose so that it would go viral. The company is valued at several $1 billion after all. Surely it knows what it's doing. And then I watched the sexist and dystopian ad. It wasn't tongue-in-cheek terrible. It was terrible. It attempts to portray getting on an exercise bike as some sort of life-changing spiritual journey, inadvertently lifted a lid on this wellness industry, revealing it as an expensive scam. Well, of course it's an expensive scam. But the idea that there are people who watch this Peloton ad and got the notion that he gave her the bike on Christmas morning as a threat, lose weight, or I will beat you, only reveals the sickness of the person perceiving such a thing and their worldview. The Peloton ad is a stupid ad for a lot of reasons. But I guarantee now people are reading this, so the next time they see the ad, they'll be informed by it and they'll know what to look for. But in the very beginning, the people who first got upset about this ad, leading to all of these articles about it and discussion about it, I will guarantee you this from the von Haessler Doctrine. The only people who saw this ad as an abusive threat to women had something to do with sociology departments all over the world. I remember they used to try to push this crap on us in college in the 80s. They had a whole Sociology 101. I remember this whole video that we watched. And it just pointed out all these magazine ads and commercials that we'd seen all our life. And it turned out every single one of them was sexist, had a threat of rape to them. I was sitting there, it was like, what? There was one ad I remember. There was a guy's waiting for the girl, and he's got a ring or something, and it's kind of done in like a noir sort of way. He's in the shadows, and my sociology professor said, "Well, that's just rape right there. It's just waiting to happen." I was like, "What? What are you seeing here?" It was cool. It was before OJ got in trouble.
Yeah,
and there was an OJ ad. I guess he was, a dingo? OJ Dingo. Remember those ads in magazines? And he has like a third leg coming from a place that you might expect. Now, I got to go back and give my sociology professor some credit. There was a menacing aspect to O.J. Simpson that I was not aware of. Okay, on that one, they turned out that maybe O.J. was up to something. Not the best friend of women in the world. Okay, I'll give him one. But a stopped clock is right twice a day. Every jewelry ad I'd ever seen. Did you look up O.J.? Did you see the
he's got 3 boots on.
He's got 3 boots on, and the other one is supposed to be something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's R2-D2.
This has been going on forever, but usually you would just teach it in Sociology 101, and by the time the kids got to Christmas break, they forgot about it. But now, these kind of things have more legs because everybody in power is from this group of people. We live in the age of sociology.
Kind of like that ad.
Of sociology.
You said it has more legs, like that ad.
Like O.J. Dingo.
Yeah.
Well, I still got the boots.
My sociology professor used to talk about how she loved Karl Marx so much that at one time she actually thought, she said, we have to remember that Karl Marx as a man did have flaws. I don't have to remember. I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, it's almost the 90s. I think it was the 90s. One of my...
Soviets had already fallen.
Yeah. Karl Marx. Let's remember, kids. He does have some flaws. And she goes, he wasn't a good father. Oh, that's what you're finding is the flaw in Karl Marx. Okay. Not the ruination that's come to human beings stuck in countries that picked up his philosophy. That's not him. He was a bad father.
Eastern Europe, nearly everybody dead.
That's nothing. He was a bad father. Sociology. We live in the era of sociology where Arwa Madawi for The Guardian. I love The Guardian. The Guardian is it's a newspaper, I guess. I see it online. They're always begging for money. But they are the outlet of news source that lets me know that America is the greatest country in the world. Because The Guardian basically, I don't know about before. I never read The Guardian before internet times. And I don't know how it was in the 70s and 80s, whatever.
It's always been lefty because I used to read it.
Might have been lefty, but now it seems to exist as a newspaper in England whose job is to remind people what boobs Americans are. And the reason that doesn't offend me, but makes me proud of my country, I know that this is the greatest country in the world. You want to know why? There's no newspaper in America who has the one job to let Americans know what boobs English people are, because there's no need for it.
Right.
It's like when remember when Atlanta tried to compete with New York City? There's all these posters. This is a long time ago. It's like, look out, New York. Atlanta's on its way. It's like, well, no, just the fact that there's no advertising in New York that says, look out, Atlanta. New York is on the way. Lets you know that New York's always going to be a bigger city than Atlanta. But it's okay. Atlanta's a great city as well.
Eric Von Haessler. If you think the stock market is unpredictable, buckle up and spend the next hour here. Seriously, we have no idea what he's going to say next. Eric Von Haessler on 95.5 WSB.
I didn't even realize the section of The Guardian this was in. This Week in Patriarchy.
Oh, God.
Underneath this says women. Arwa Madawi. There's a picture of her. She's like, her whole look, the grimace on her face. I'm not impressed. Okay. I'm really not impressed at all. Arwa.
Did you read the bottom box where it said, where they ask for money from Americans? Where it
you
says,
need us.
2020 will be a defining year for America.
Yeah.
This year, much of what we hold dear has been threatened. Democracy, civility, truth. Yeah. This administration is establishing new norms of behavior.
Yeah.
Truth is being chased away. With your help.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? These people are right. We live in a country where you never hear any criticism of this president.
No.
It's just it's like he's locked everything down, and I don't know what's going on, because you just never hear anyone speak up against this. We are definitely living in some kind of fascist state where you can't say anything, because otherwise you'd be able to turn on the television and every once in a while see somebody say something bad about the president, but that never happened. We need The Guardian over in England, where they still have royalty to tell us about democracy. Yes?
Also, no constitution and an election every 10 minutes.
Yeah, they have no constitution over there. That's why they have so much trouble. Oh, the English right now, they want to be able to make fun of us for being so chaotic, and they're just in the middle of this thing that they can't make or not make happen.
The 10th Brexit election.
How many elections could you have? I'm trying to put together you know what? When we have elections, once we decide who won, it's kind of a snap putting an election together. We don't have all this trouble. This parliamentary system is terrible.
Oh, I know.
It's just like you vote for one thing, and then they have to go find 10 people who totally disagree with you on everything to get some sort of ruling thing together. Horrible.
But Eric, with your help, we can continue putting it at the center stage.
Yeah.
As we prepare for 2020, we're asking our readers at The Guardian to help us raise $1.5 million.
Yeah, so
help us reach our year-end
because there are no news outlets in America that are critical of the president. He's getting way too much positive press.
Well, I was going to give the Slate some money, but I think I'll just give it to The Guardian.
That's right. Keep it right here at home.
That's right.
Affect things. I think in England, The Guardian needs to think about how can England get their act together? How difficult it is to make decisions. In America, as hard as it is, if people would have voted, to a lot of people in America, Trump being elected was the same thing as Brexit happening, right? The same type was outraged. But in this country, the guy went in and it just happened like it's always going to happen. January 20th at noon, the guy became president. I mean,
you can't parliamentarily delay him becoming president for 4 years.
Well, they've done everything they can.
Yeah, that's true.
They can still, sort of do his job. The Guardian. This Week in Patriarchy. This is why we do Outrage Corner every week. That's the whole concept, is you decide when you have an article, when you have a section called This Week in Patriarchy, and you say, well, we're going to do this for the next 5 years. Well, you don't know that you have a story 4.5 years in for that week. It's just like, this would be a cool segment to have. So at some point, you got to go find the problem. Hey, it's This Week in Patriarchy. We need something. I don't know. Get Arwa on it. She's pissed off all the time. She'll find some reason to tell you that Peloton ad is going to abuse your children in some way. Have you seen the picture? It's just the picture. It's just like not impressed. What, this whole world that you built before I was born? Doesn't mean much to me.
Before you judge her profile picture on The Guardian, I think you need to sign a waiver, Eric, saying that you're going to be critical of her image and her look.
I'm sure that anybody who's critical of her ridiculous article is, deep-seated. I must be some sort of misogynist. It's not possible that I could just, have a critique. It's got to be, it must really bother me that Arwa refuses to smile.
Hey, Eric.
Yes.
She really should go back in time if she wants to find some things. This is a Kenwood mixer.
Oh, you're looking at all the ads from the old days?
And this one says, the chef does everything but cook. That's what wives are for.
See, we've come a long way.
You mean a woman can open it? Del Monte ketchup.
Hey, Arwa, how would you have felt if you were born in 1950? You live in good times.
Oh, my goodness.
Smile every once in a while.
Hey, that's got to be careful.
Smile when the patriarchy is crushed. All right. That's it for This Week in Patriarchy. We'll be back tomorrow to do it again. Right now, we're going to do the Podcast 30. If you'd like to join us for the Podcast 30, just go to the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page or the WSB Radio Facebook page. Click on the red box. You can watch us do the Podcast 30. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. to do it all again. Hopefully, I'll be in a better mood. A little more of a lighthearted show. That's what I'm looking forward to. You're all invited to join us. Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. All right, the Podcast 30 begins right now. I'm Eric Von Haessler. Tim Andrews is here. J-Rad not rocking the tunes. English Nick is here. All right, so as I was saying before we went on, I found the song that I knew when I heard that Billie Eilish Bad Guy, which have been out for a year, and I heard it for the first time last week.
It's a massive song.
Yeah,
massive.
I heard it for the first time last week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no. I've heard that Beat It before? So there's a song Too Much Love by LCD Sound System.
So he's actually, that's like a main vocal and then a vocal that's like, doctored a little bit. That's what he's doing. Like
but it's just that.
But she's doing it. There's a name for the kind of music she's making.
Mumble something.
No, there's some. Well, Jared,
Mumble Dumble.
It's like this hypersensory thing. What do they call that?
Oh, I can't remember exactly. But she's not
ASMR?
the first to do it. But no, it's an ASMR.
Teenage angst.
Yeah.
I have to give it to her though. There really hasn't been anything in the alternative market, at least, that sounded like this in a long time.
I just played it for you. Yeah, this is 20 years old.
Here's the thing: a lot of the masses that are gobbling up the old Billie Eilish, all the sheeple, they have no idea who LCD Sound System is.
You know what I know about Billie Eilish?
What's that? She's young.
She doesn't care what you think.
No, she doesn't have to.
She just doesn't care what you think.
She does her own thing.
I do like that about her. I do like that.
Well, I like it. Is this her?
I'm the bad guy.
Duh.
Shame she's not like 6 years older.
Her brother's been listening to a lot of LCD Sound
Of course.
I've cracked this code.
He's a little genius.
I've cracked this code.
He's a mad genius, that brother, I'm telling you.
I think the best reaction was Tim there.
I gotta say, I
don't hate her. I think that she's
I don't
got
hate
something
her.
going
I don't know
on.
anything about her. I don't like the music.
I like it.
The music's got something going on.
Yeah, it's
Come on.
catchy.
Can't hate everything.
I
I'm just
don't
saying.
hate it. I don't like it. There's a difference.
I appreciate when people don't care what you think.
Yep.
But when they're constantly telling you that they don't care what they think,
don't appreciate that
it
much.
makes me think that
yeah.
they do care. Actually, I don't get her thing, but I appreciate her, and I think that she has changed Teenage Rebellion because she doesn't color all of her hair or just a waft of her hair.
She's changing it up.
She colors the front of her hair, and even though she doesn't care about fashion, I noticed that the rims of her glasses match the color of her hair. But don't think for a moment she did that for you, because I can tell you one thing about Billie Eilish. She does not care what you think.
Although she doesn't shop at TJ Maxx or Ross. She has highfalutin,
I don't know what
fancy fashion.
It looks
she doesn't
to me,
care what you think.
She is couch fashion. She dresses in the kind of things that people cover their couches in.
If they have dogs, she has a dog cover.
But you appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. She said, look, hey, look, her and her brother messing around with electronic stuff, and they come up, and then she's huge. Yeah, I think it's great.
I met
But
somebody.
I don't want to hear about what she thinks about politics. She's like 18.
Well, she's up. I mean, look, the young girls are taking over it. You know, they know. Oh, Greta Van, she's got it worked out.
Yeah, okay. Well, here's the deal.
And here's Billie
Greta
Eilish.
Van.
Whatever her name is.
Oh.
Greta
Van Susteren.
Greta Van Susteren.
Yeah, she's a youngster.
Teenager who paddled here from Jersey.
Let's talk about how men are being the patriarchy.
I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad guy.
Today I'm on a boat across the Atlantic.
I don't care. I don't care what you think of me. I'm Greta Van
I think
Susteren.
Greta Van Susteren is actually Dennis Miller in drag.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got to be queequeg to figure that one out.
You know the Greta I mean. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Greta.
Greta complain a lot.
Well, she's got a right?
Greta who?
Oh, she has a right, but
she's got
she's
a right to say whatever she
nuts.
wants.
No one's saying she doesn't have a right.
I saw a video. There was a time span video on the BBC News app this weekend where last year when she came to the United Nations thing, she got thrown out after 10 minutes. This year,
yeah,
all in,
different
mate.
time.
All in.
Different time. I was watching BBC on. It said BBC on film. Like, oh, that'd be interesting.
Hey.
Yeah, what Bollywood? I find that to be the most boring bunch of crap.
Well, they never kiss, do they? They just get
It's,
close.
it's all. I heard it's the same story over and over.
I guess.
And audiences get mad if you change the story. What's going on over
It's
there?
a massive industry over there.
Haven't they ever seen Citizen Kane? I'm going over there with
Probably
Citizen
not,
Kane.
probably not.
I'll start a riot. Nobody
Does it have a dance
sings.
number in it?
There is.
Okay.
They call him Kane. You know
Did
that?
it.
Have you ever seen Citizen Kane?
Only bits of it. I've never seen
Hey,
it.
I heard they wrote a song about you. And he's like, you sell a bag of peanuts in this town. They write a song about you. His name is Kane. Great.
I still haven't seen Jojo Rabbit.
Half the thing that you're seeing in the window behind him, like half of it's like you see him, and then the guys at the table, and then the dance is going on, and then you see most of it in the window behind the guys as they're looking at him, realizing there's some changes going on here with this Kane. You saw Jojo Rabbit.
Not yet. I haven't seen it.
I thought you told me you cried your eyes out.
No, not yet. You said I was going to cry my eyes out.
Oh, I thought you.
You know what? I
saw
did cry my eyes out last night. The new movie with old Adam.
Peloton ad. You saw the Peloton ad.
The marriage story of my favorite girlfriend.
Everybody's talking about Marriage Story.
Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I like her. I find him to be somewhat dull.
I think he's awesome.
Yeah? Okay,
you see some different facets of his acting ability.
He's not
in this
wooden
movie.
like in Star Wars.
This one thinks that it's going to be a big switcheroo, and the Skywalker is going to be that they talk about in the Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker. He is part of the Sky. He's Leia and Han's son.
Am I wrong? Ray isn't? I thought Ray was part of it.
I don't know who Ray's parents are.
We don't know.
Should there be spoiler alert here? Blah, 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 blah,
no, it's not out yet. This is all speculation.
I think it would be awesome if
you think that this thing is going to end with a white guy being the ultimate hero, you make
are
me
wrong.
laugh.
I don't think it will. But
You make me laugh.
I think he'll probably come over to the good side.
She's perfect.
He'll come over to the good side.
That's why she's so damn boring.
Jared,
and
this isn't
uninteresting.
1969. It's 2019, man.
He has to come over to the good side because what you're seeing is a rehash of Return of the Jedi. That's the spine of this film. Will be Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
complete with the stupid Palpatine being.
I just hope it's a good film. That's all I hope.
Yeah, good luck. I'll bet you $1,000 it's not. Have you ever seen a good film that was written by committee? Because that's what you're going to get here.
Well,
how many writers in these things are involved?
Well, you have Lucas. You have J.J. Abrams.
Lucas, no, he's not involved.
No, he was involved. They brought him in.
When?
They brought him in to help write some of these scripts for this movie.
I heard that they told him to go to hell.
No, he consulted on this.
He gave them scripts. I heard he's pissed off.
No, originally, but for this film, the last film sucked so much that they asked him to come in and help.
You know how I feel about this is the three in the middle I thought sucked. But
they're better than these.
But this is what I think. I think that George Lucas has a right to make crappy Star Wars movies.
Right.
I wish he didn't, but if anybody has a right to